Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show. We've obviously all just watched the Germany-England game, finished 2-0 to England. Where to start? Where to start? Firstly, let's welcome the guests. We've got Steve, Mr. Steve K. Steve, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Yep, very good now. Yep, cheers, Jerome.
Yeah, Lee, you all right, mate?
All good, mate. Thank you.
Yeah, and finally we have representing Germany. We have Marie. Marie, how are you?
Terrible.
Yeah, Marie, I'll tell you what. It's interesting to hear from your side how you saw the game. So what are your overall thoughts on the match?
Sure. It reminded me in some ways of the World Cup final, Germany against Argentina, in 2014, in the sense that they were two evenly matched teams. For a long time, it was a very tactical, masterclass between two teams that were completely prepared by their coaches in similar ways with the formations that kind of canceled each other out. And it was a battle in midfield. And it was probably interesting for us to watch because we know all these players well, but I would hazard a guess to say that someone like my mom or the, casual every 2 years goes to the pub to watch England games, that type of fan, was probably a little bored by most of the game. I will say that statistically speaking, up until the 75th minute, Germany was slightly better. And I think that, they were more in control in midfield, but it was very, very narrow. I'm not saying they deserved to win. I'm just saying they had a slight upper hand, just based on the quality of the chances with Havertz's beautiful kick, with Timo Werner in the first half, and then with Thomas Müller, all three of which, could have gone in. And of course, by the time that England scored the second goal, they'd had 2 shots on target, both of which were goals. But you know what? That's part of deserving to win, is being efficient and having the calm nerves, unlike Thomas Müller or Timo Werner, to stand in front of Manuel Neuer and convert when it's important. So credit to England. And I do think that overall they looked very composed. And I think compared to the other England games, this was probably their best performance.
Yeah.
At the right time.
Yeah. Just continuing, following on from that. When a team loses a game, obviously it's natural to maybe blame people, whether it's the players or the managers. Is there anyone that you would sort of put the blame on at all for this German performance? The manager, any particular players, or was it just a case of there wasn't much in the game and that was it really?
Yeah, I would say it's a couple of factors that kind of stick out. I do think if you look at the quality of Germany's squad, they are, second to France, Belgium, and England. In my opinion, they're up there. They're the 4th best squad. And so with a luckier bracket, they could have gone all the way. But it just turns out that, this is very early on in the tournament to have an England-Germany tie. We're used to having that game in at least the quarterfinal, the semi-final, as we saw at the 2010 World Cup. I think that was the quarterfinal. So part of it, I think, is just poor luck by literally the schedule and playing at Wembley. I do think Germany in all of their games, even against Portugal, it was 4-2 sounds spectacular, but 2 of those were own goals. And Germany is looking at probably a decade of who the hell is going to score, because you have the wingers, you have the creative players on paper, you have Havertz, Gnabry, Sané, Müller is old, but you don't have a finisher. And honestly, there was that scene early on in the second half where Timo Werner and Havertz were running at the English goal, and there were 4 English defenders, and Havertz had the ball at his feet, and he kind of crossed it to the left. He squared it to Werner. And as soon as he played that pass, I think every Premier League fan knew that it was not going to go in. And I know that sounds brutal, but I'm not saying Werner's a bad striker, but he's just had a bad season. His confidence is low. He didn't get past his man in that scene. Then he missed the goal, and he missed that huge chance in the first half. So Timo Werner is not Miroslav Klose. And you guys have Harry Kane. Belgium has Lukaku, perhaps the best player of the tournament so far. Even the Czech Republic has Patrick Schick, who would be starting for Germany. So I think that and the scheduling is really what made the difference for today for Germany to go out.
Yeah. Lee, what are your overall thoughts on the game? How did you see it from your side?
Very happy to be sitting here eating humble pie. I've got to be honest. I fancied Germany. Jerome, you said it before we went live. His goals change games. And I've tweeted it tonight. I think Gareth Southgate's come in for a lot of stick, but he's got the job done, and we've kept a clean sheet. I agree with Marie there about Germany haven't got an out-and-out striker. But, we're not defending well. You can't knock that side of it. A few frustrations. I still think we can attack with more purpose. I think we can break quicker. There's 3 or 4 occasions where we started to get the German back free and turned out and went back again. And I just feel that we can be a little bit braver in them scenarios, But listen, crosses, got 2 crosses in the box. We scored 2 goals. And Kane weren't great again tonight. But you stick that ball in the box, he's scoring goals, and that's what he's done. Sterling, I thought, done well. Saka, very good first half. And I said to you again before we went, live, he's picked a side tonight, and whether we like it or not, he's probably picked a side knowing that you've got Grealish to come off the bench, you've got Foden if needed, you've got Sancho to come off and win you the game, and it's worked. And you can't knock the manager. You can't knock anyone. I will say tonight, I thought the standout, I thought Phillips was outstanding tonight. He played like it was his last ever game. He won the battle. He went to, he won loads of challenges. He got amongst the Germans. I thought it was very good. I feared for us early. I thought we got overrun very quickly in midfield, and Germany had a couple of half chances. And listen, if that goes in, it's a different game. But I did say that earlier on in the week that if we were to go 1-0 up against Germany, the one thing they do, they throw so many bodies forward that you can really go and counter-attack them. And we've done that and got the second goal. And listen, absolutely delighted. Let's not get carried away because we've got a habit of doing that at England. We get carried away with our next game, and there's no easy games in this tournament. But so pleased to get through. And I thought that was all right tonight. I thought that was a good performance. I thought that was a good performance. And I think a lot of credit needs to go to the manager. We all questioned his 3-5-2 or 5-2-3, whatever it was. A lot of question marks to him, but he got it right. And at the end of the day, that's a fantastic win tonight. Yeah,
exactly. An amazing win. Amazing win. Steve, how did you see the game? And do you think a few of us need to maybe write a letter of apology to Gareth Southgate? Because let's face it, not a lot of us were fans of the team he picked, but it's a good thing he don't listen to us, because he's got an amazing result just now.
He has. People may say that the team was risky, and on another day, if Germany were a bit more on it, could we had another result? But look, this is football, and it doesn't work like that. So, like Lee said, we have to give him all the credit, and he has to get a big pat on the back. I mean, the first half, I to be honest with you, I was bored to tears. I just thought they both cancelled each other out. There was, Saka was the only person in the first 25 minutes. He was doing a bit, but apart from Sterling on the other side, he was doing a bit. But apart from that, there was nothing really else going up front. Kane was very quiet, but the defence today, I've got to give them a big round of applause. I mean, I thought Harry Maguire was just outstanding today. I mean, absolutely incredible, and that goes for John Stones as well, and that goes Kyle Walker. I was screaming at Luke Shaw in the first half. I was saying, why aren't you getting forward? Why aren't you getting forward? We've said it on other shows, and he wasn't getting forward. Lee said that, maybe he's told not to get forward. That's the only thing he can think of. And I think he was spot on, because in the second half, he was getting forward. The first half sort of was there, and then it went. But no, I mean, look, it was all about Jack Grealish at the end of the day for me. You know,
Yeah.
as soon as he comes on the pitch, you know, England's whole, you know, persona and the way they play was different. All of a sudden, you know, you had Shaw bombing down the left, of which you never had in the first half. I mean, whether he's like what Lee said, is he left on the bench to come on? I think that's a little bit too risky. I think he's got to start. I think he got to start from the off, and I think Shaw's. You know, I want to see that. You know, from the beginning, and you know, when you've seen it tonight, you've seen Shaw and you've seen Grealish, you've seen them both team up and get crosses in for Kane and Sterling, and they put them in the back of the net on a plate for them. And I don't want to wait until the 60th minute, the 65th minute, or if it's 0-0 or we're 1-0 down, you know, to do that again. But overall, you know, top draw. Only Southgate knows if he's got away with one, and he had different ideas. But who cares? You know, we're through to the next round.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the way Southgate wants to play, or maybe the fact that he was a defender himself. That his first thought is obviously keep things tight. Like maybe that's why he's not playing all these attacking-minded players that there's a big clamour for. Lee, what do you think of that? Do you think that's?
It's a really good point, Jerome. Really good point. I did listen the other day, and I was told that he's gone through the last, I think it's 5 or 6 World Cup and European Championships, and looked at what the most successful teams are, and the ones that are the most successful are the ones that keep the most clean sheets. It's like anything. So whether he's gone to set up like that and go, you know what, we need to be hard to beat. And listen, if you don't concede goals, you got a very, very good chance of winning games of football. So maybe he's done that. You know, I've heard, as I said, I've heard that a couple of times now. He's gone through he's done a lot of research. You look at Greece when they won it in 2004, I think it was. Right. They were solid. You know, they were so hard to break down, and we look like that. Listen, a lot of credit must go to Jordan Pickford. You know, he hasn't been mentioned, coming for massive criticism. 100%. He has been absolutely different class, the lad. And I weren't sure on him. I don't think many people were. Everyone says he's got a clanger in him. He's really come to the party. The whole group come to the party today, and I'm very, very pleased with that performance. And as I say, listen, the manager is getting something right, and we have to respect that. But let's not get carried away. We've got another tough game on Saturday. Tough to repair the bodies and get right for that. And hopefully we go again, because sometimes. And that's why I think Southgate's very good. I think he's got his feet firmly on the ground. He never gets too high, never gets too low. Because sometimes when you play a game like that tonight, you need that to be like your semi-final, because you get so high of emotion, it's very hard to get going again. You know, you're going to go up against Sweden or Ukraine. That's not a Germany. You know, that's not a France or Spain. So you're now becoming the favourites again. That was 50-50 tonight. So, you know, they've got to really regroup, get ready for a really, really tough game where they're going to dominate in possession. You're going to have a team that goes and sits back and be hard to break down. Can we go and get crosses in the box again? We go back to that scenario. And I think, I'll just show one more point. First off, I did get the ump a little bit when Kyle Walker, great chance to cross the ball in the box. And Jermaine Janus says, you know, I don't feel he's confident enough to cross it. He's on 150 grand a week. You know, if we can't put crosses in the box now, when are we going to do it? But listen, I'm delighted tonight. I'm so happy.
Yeah. Kieran, it's all yours, mate. All yours, mate. All yours.
Jerome, carry on. Look, you started from the start. I don't know what questions have been asked. You ask me a question if you want. You're in charge, mate. Jump in.
Oh, man. We've just been talking about everyone's thoughts on the game, how they saw it. Just overall thoughts, really.
Absolutely buzzing. I will just say, enjoy it, people. Like, enjoy it. Don't try and overanalyze it too much. Don't try and break down today. Just enjoy it. All right. Because it's not often we beat Germany. It's not often it's not often we beat Germany. We got to the quarterfinals of a tournament. Look, the first half, it was I don't know. First half, it was kind of 50-50. They had the better opportunities. They had the better opportunities, but I can't say we come out the first half like without encouragement. I was saying, I was on Fabrice's one, and I was saying, look, you got Gareth Southgate was saying that's encouragement there. It's 0-0. It may seem negative, but it's 0-0. We've had our chances, and I think as soon as Sterling had that chance, where look, Neuer was saving that all day long. It looked more spectacular than it actually was. But I think that gave us a little bit of spark. That gave us like a sort of, do you know what? We can get something in this game. We can have a chance, because I felt the first 10 minutes, they were on us. And that was where I was worried. I was thinking, we cannot sit back for 50 more minutes or whatever, 80 more minutes like this, because they will pepper us with shots and they will smash us. But we got that chance, and it was like, okay, no, we can go at them. Sterling, Saka on the wings, constantly at them. It was only when we scored that goal. I don't know if anyone saw it, but we scored that goal and we had another break forward. Sterling points to someone, I think it's Rice, says, "Don't calm down." And Rice doesn't pass it to the winger; he passes it back to Sterling. Sterling decides to be negative and pass it back, and when they need to score from it. The second time we did it, we actually played it out wide, crossed it in, we scored. Now that should show how we need to play. We need to play with confidence. We can't play holding back. We can't do that. We can't do that, because you can't do it. You can't have the mindset of sitting back and holding in. And if we concede, we've got to then try and flip that around. If Germany score first night, I think we're in trouble. But we got that goal. We got that goal. And then we took it forward and pressed on. And absolutely buzzing. Absolutely buzzing.
Yeah. I think Marie was right about Germany not having I don't know. England's centre-backs never really seemed in much danger, did they? From an England side, sometimes you watch England and you're a bit nervous and you're a bit fearful. But I didn't feel that tonight.
No, but one thing I did worry about is in the first half, I think we gave Kai Havertz far too much room. And when he was on the ball, he was creating stuff. He set up someone before, and then just after that he set up Werner again, and it was almost like, why have we got two DMs on and no one's shutting off their number 10? There was no point in the two DMs being on there. So that was pointless to me. But in the second half, I don't think Havertz had as much space on the ball. I don't know whether that was tactically, but we came out the second half. We didn't just pass the ball back. We actually tried to pass the ball forward. So it was a lot more encouraging. I mean, as you said, Lee, Gareth Southgate Pickford, the same as Pickford, Gareth Southgate gets a lot of criticism. We're all here picking apart his team before the game, saying how this ain't going to work. I can't believe he's done that. Yet once again, he's come through and we've got a 2-0 win against Germany. Not even conceded. So, credit where credit's due with Gareth Southgate. Let's not mess it up in the next game, whether we play Sweden or Ukraine, because as we sin against Iceland, you can't take anyone lightly, and mentally we have to be up for it, as well as the technically gifted players we've got on the pitch. Yeah, I guess we'll come on to the next game, obviously in the preview. So we'll leave that for another day. Marie, any of the players stood out to you at all in today's game?
I thought Saka in the first half was very, very good. I think England as a unit was really solid. And Grealish looked great when he came on. But to me, I wouldn't be. I mean, I'd be curious to see who got man of the match. I mean, I think if Germany would have won, then Mats Hummels would have been that guy, because of two sensational saves. That was I don't know what they call that position in football, but that guy who tackles the guy who catches the ball to bring that guy down and stop them from a touchdown. That's basically what he did with these, and super high risk. I mean, this man has already scored an own goal in the tournament. And he looked very much at risk of scoring two more in the first half, but became the hero instead. So I think he was my guy on the German side. But of course, if you, at the end of the day, if you concede 2 goals, you're not going to be man of the match. So for England, I don't know who got it. Maybe Sterling or Kane, because they scored the goal. I will agree with Lee that I thought in central midfield, they looked really good, and that was mainly due to Phillips. But yeah, to me, hard to pick out one, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough.
Maybe Pickford, honestly.
Yeah, I was going to say
Yeah.
Pickford. Nothing to do with the goalkeeper union, but I think Pickford, them 2 saves he made. I know people will say it was down his throat, but that was a fierce shot from Havertz, and he's pushed it over the bar. And the 1-on-1 from Werner has kept England in the game. Sterling done well to take his chances, and as did Harry Kane, which is it's nice to see him off the mark for going on into the tournament.
Yeah. Lee, and anyone for you? Any players that you thought played particularly well?
I said earlier, I just want to pick up on something that we've said earlier about there might be a little reasoning as well with the Shaw and getting forward, and I think that could be when we played that 5-2-3 virtually tonight, and Sterling's very high and wide. When Grealish comes on, he plays a little bit like Havertz. He's across the pitch, he's in little pockets that allows Shaw to overlap, and it's funny that he's not overlapped all night, Sterling, because he's out wide. It's very hard. They're doubling up with him. There's no space to get in there. Grealish comes on. They double up with him inside near the area. That's the first time that Shaw's been able to overlap. So it may be him coming inside like Havertz. I thought Havertz was very good tonight, actually, to be fair. I thought he was very good. I thought Phillips tonight, he really stood out for me tonight. He really got across the pitch. I'd love to know what he covered in distance. He won a lot of and do you know what? He's one of them. We don't do it enough. When he tackles you, he hurts you. And that's good to see. You know, we don't do enough of that time. The game's gone a little bit, but again, we go back to it. You don't play for Bielsa if you can't do everything. And the one thing he done tonight, he was everywhere. I thought he was a standout. I thought the back 3 were very, very good, solid. I'm pleased for Stones. I'm not going to Speak too highly of him in case he throws one in, because he has got that mistake in him. But you know, Pickford was very assured. Difficult to pick one. Rice, you could go with Rice. You know, it was a good performance. Like, let's not take Germany are a very good side who are lacking a world-class striker. Like, I feel we're lacking a world-class central midfielder. And I would probably go. I want to go Pickford. Very good. Yeah.
He's really come on a lot, hasn't he?
Yeah,
I think anyway. Yeah. Do you reckon that, Steve? Maybe we've got like unrealistic expectations of this team, not in terms of results, but like performance, and maybe we've just got to accept who we are, and not think that we're going to come and blow teams away like 3 or 4-0 every game, and just sort of, I don't know, maybe just get behind them a bit more, not think that we're the team that we're not, even though we do have a lot of exciting players. You can't play with like all your attacking players, because then you're going to neglect the other side of the game.
Yeah, look, you know, we've already said that what Kieran's already brought up. He said, look, let's enjoy it. You know, we can't help but analyse it, because that's what we're here for. But we've already looked at, you've seen other games, we've watched other games. You know, I'm sure all of us have watched every game. We've seen the Czechoslovakia, we've seen France, we've seen Holland. You know, there's an argument that, you know, on their day you go man for there. They mean we have a better the side of England. So, you know, we've got to calm it down. You know, and England, I mean, look, we're the worst for having expectations, for thinking that our players are the best and the greatest, and we've just got to go into each game. You know, we're going to be playing Sweden or Ukraine in the next game. Look, you know, they could knock us out.
Look at Switzerland against France.
Yeah,
I'm sure they thought they were going to cruise it. This was part of the problem.
They will be up for it, Kieran, wouldn't they?
Do you not think the only thing I'd say is we Croatia have taken Spain all the way, Czech Republic have beat Holland. We look very, very comfortable in both of them games. So we're very critical of England and how boring we are and how sideways. They're doing all right, aren't they?
Oh, sideways past this to the trophy. I do not care, mate.
I'm very happy eating humble pie at the moment.
Yeah,
I would love to switch. I would love to be you guys. You know, just take that. Like, I am absolutely. I feel like I'm getting worse by the minute. I'm like, the disappointment is sinking in. I'm devastated. So enjoy it. And you know what? Like, semi-final and final at Wembley. Quarterfinal is going to be against Sweden or the Ukraine. You'll have 60,000 English men and women at Wembley for those games. Like, things are looking good. Enjoy it. Yeah.
Enjoy it for now. Enjoy it for now.
Not conceded any goals so far. And, you know, championship winning teams had best defense. Of course, attacking wise, you know, now 4 goals all tournament in 4 games. So not fantastic, but all you need is to win 3 more games, 1-0, and, you know, you'll be champions.
Yeah. But I'm sure France was saying the same thing. I'm sure Holland was saying the same thing. You know, and I'm sure Germany was saying the same thing. You know, it's just that we've just got to calm it, and we've got to get that. We have the crowd behind us tonight. You know, when we're playing Sweden or Ukraine, it won't be at Wembley. We won't have the crowd. You know, it's going to be in Rome, I think. Yeah, you know, it's in Rome, so it's going to be different. I don't know. There might be 40,000 Swedish fans in there. I don't know. We've just got to calm it. And again, it'll all you know, go round in the circle, and we'll all be trying to pick the right team. And I think we saying that, you know, that Gareth Southgate got it right, and he did get right. But you know, he did have to change things that we said in past shows. I mean, if I can ask, I mean, Shaw and Grealish, have we got to start them now? Has Grealish got to start?
I don't think we can dismiss what Saka brought to the first half. I don't think we can dismiss the things that the players that were on in that first half or up to 60 minutes did for the team, because that's not to say that Grealish couldn't have done something in that game, but like, it's one of them. It's so tough to say whether starting Grealish would have made a difference. But what I do know is when he did come on, straight away they doubled up on him, because it was almost as if it was like, oh, they knew about Grealish, and he does that foot on the ball, drag back, and he doubled up. He lost the ball at the time, but it was like they're worried about him now. So. But they will also be worried about Saka. I don't know. Look, I can't say that you got to start him in the next game.
Kieran, can they not play both, Kieran? Can they not play both?
Then who are you dropping?
Well, you can if you go to the 4. If you go to the 4, you can.
Yeah, we go to the 4.
If you go to the 4. If you go to the 4, you can.
Yeah, I suppose so. I suppose so.
Tell.
Surely we ain't going to play 7 defenders against Sweden or Ukraine, are we?
Mount comes into the equation now as well. You know, he's back from isolation.
Yeah, but I like Mount, but I don't want to drop into that, because if Mount comes in, I feel like he's going as a number 10, and Mount ain't a number 10 that's gonna pick apart any teams. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I think he's a very good central midfielder and with an attacking option in his game, but I don't see him as a number 10. And I think you're just bringing on another defensive player if you're going to play him behind Harry Kane. Like, we just saw Harry Kane get set up by Grealish tonight. Like, that's not a coincidence. That happened for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, he was involved in both goals tonight, wasn't he? And it's all with some buts and maybes. But you know, Kieran, you brought up where, you know, Sterling lost the ball. I mean, and Muller pulled it wide, which is unlike Muller. But I mean, there was 2 centre backs like right breathing down his neck. But I'm thinking, if that's, I kept saying to my wife. And I said to her, if that's Serge Gnabry, that's a goal. He buries that. Yeah, because he's gone. He's gone.
He gets closer to the goal.
Yeah. But this is Muller. Like, he's scored past us many times, and I think he was probably in the back of his mind. He's probably celebrating because he thinks that that one's in.
Yeah.
It's so tough. It's so tough. So it's such a tough one. Like I said, I think Sterling in the back of his mind is worried about conceding the goal after we've scored, which is why he's saying calm down, pass it backwards, which it goes against. But don't do it. Germany had we're already 1 down. They're gonna come and attack. They have to. They have no option. So they're gonna create space. So why not just go for the second goal when it's there?
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know.
They must be buzzing in that dressing room. Could you imagine?
They'd be flying. I was saying that if you know people that have gone to watch the game that are up London today, they ain't coming into work tomorrow. That's the day. There's a lot of sickness being called.
I didn't know the game was in Italy on Saturday. That's a problem because there's going to be a lot of quarantining. I've got a feeling there's a lot of flights going out this weekend.
Marie, did he pick the same? Did he pick the right team? Do you think, Jockey Blow?
Luke?
Did he pick the right team?
I mean, yeah, I really think this is the best team we have. I think the midfield looked strong. It was the right call to bring Goretzka, from the beginning because he looked really good when he came on, and he's back to full fitness. I, if anything, would have liked to see substitutes earlier because, I mean, let's be real. When England scored the goal, that was not a surprise. England had the momentum in the second half, and in many ways, it was a deserved goal, despite perhaps Germany having the clearer chances. England really, after that very strong opening phase by Germany, had momentum, and they looked more dangerous looking forward. So I would have liked to see perhaps Gundogan come on, who knows many of these defenders, who can score from range. I would have liked to see Sané and Gnabry come on earlier. And just, there was a lot of weapons at Löw's disposal from the bench. The issue is most of those players have been in poor form so far or have not performed well when they have had the opportunity. So it's hard for me to blame Löw for the team he selected because I do think he picked the best team. And Rüdiger looked strong. Ginter had his moments. Hummels was sensational. So even the back three, it seemed like it was necessary. So that's kind of my opinion there. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think, I mean, there was something Jerome said, I don't know if it was in the preview or the last show, but Jerome, you said the games would be about moments, and you were spot on. It was about those 2 moments. So you were spot on.
There wasn't much in the game, was there? Either side could have won that. And it's just those little things make the difference. Who does obviously there's the other game, the Sweden-Ukraine game kicking off shortly. Who any preferences in terms of who you'd want to face?
For me, not really. They both bring their own dangers, but if I had to pick one, I'd say Ukraine. I think just over the pitch, they have less quality than Sweden. Although there are some aging players in the Sweden squad that start as well. I'd rather have Ukraine.
Yeah, yeah. It's a toss of a coin, really, isn't it? I think
we never picked Sweden, do we?
We did.
Yeah. They are a poker team. They're hard. We find it hard to break them down. It's hard to score past them, and they've got players in there. They've got a team that's good balance. They're one of them teams, and now they've got Alexander Isaks, who's that little bit of something different. He's one of them players that no one really knows what he's going to do. All arms and legs with great touch. Forsberg on his day. I mean, we saw how many goals he was scoring for Leipzig a few years back, but not been the same player since. But still, he's a good player. Yeah, I don't. For me, it doesn't matter. For me, it doesn't matter. We just beat Germany, and we've seen that teams, that any team needs to be respected. So we can't go into whoever we're playing thinking, if when we beat these, we could have these, and then in the final, we've got Italy. Like, nah, no, it's one game at a time. Like, respect your opponent. Not too much respect, like we did against Germany after 11 minutes. But yeah, respect the team you're playing against, and we could go all the way to the final. Whether we win it or not, I don't know. But there's no reason why we shouldn't get to the final if we turn up in every game. Yeah,
they've given themselves an amazing chance of going far, very far, especially with a draw. And Kane obviously Kane got his goal, so they'll just be full of confidence now. Those players, won't they?
Yeah, they will be. They will be. They will be. So before we go, Jerome, how far can England get?
They can definitely go all the way. If you're not conceding any goals, and you've got the forward players that we've got, like you've got a chance. Like with this knockout football, you don't need to be fantastic for, like I said, 20 games in a row. Like they can go all the way. It's very possible. Yeah, don't see any reason why not.
Steve, how far can England go?
Can't you just feel the something in the air?
Can you hear that? You still believe. You still believe.
If Southgate planned this tonight, this tactical masterclass, yeah, if he actually planned that and it didn't just fall in his lap, luckily, then we can go and win this now. You know, I never thought we'd beat Germany, and like Lee said, Germany are well-oiled machine, and I keep feeling it's something in the air. There's, I think we can, I think we can go all the way.
Maria, I hate to ask you this question, but I have to ask you: how far can England go?
You know, you weren't here yet, but before the tournament, and there's probably some form. I think I first said this in March, but that's when we were discussing what our squad would be. I mean, England were my favorites to win the whole thing, and I still believe they can. So, they can go all the way.
Wow. Lee, how far can England go?
One game at a time.
True manager.
Listen, people thought we were going to win the World Cup, you know, and we had a very winnable game against Croatia, and our legs went. So that was tough tonight. Let's have it right. That was a really, really hard, tough game. I didn't realise we were going to Italy to play our game on Saturday, which will never be an easy place to go, obviously, from where we've been playing at home. So we lose that little bit of advantage. So it very much is one game at a time. The one thing we've got in our favour, Spain didn't win their group, Sweden did. We've got a fantastic chance. If you're ever going to get to a finals, this is your opportunity. But again, we said this back in 2018. We played Sweden, I believe, in the knockout stages of the World Cup. And they were very, very poor. They didn't even get out of a jog against us. They were poor that night. So you'd like to think that, you know, that they've not improved that much. Ukraine are very much there for the taking. And then you go home advantage, and then you have to really fancy us. And I think we can... Listen, there's a saying that defences win your leagues and forwards win your games. And that one thing we've got at the moment, we're not conceding any goals. And why you're not conceding goals, I tell you what really worries me slightly is that was such an emotional game tonight. I question France. France had such a hard group that every game was so tough. You go Portugal, really tough game. Germany, first game, really tough. You have to win to get your points on the board. They win that. You go against Hungary, was really tough night, really hot conditions. Then they played at a Portugal side where they couldn't lose. They had to make sure they got something out of the game. They did. Then they go and play Switzerland, who are not on the same level as Portugal and France. Portugal and Germany, and get beat. So we have to be very careful. We don't get over high with this one. Enjoy the night. Get ready, and that's why I think the manager will come in and really be good with these boys, because if we get too high tonight, that'll become crashing down if we're not careful. We should win that game Saturday. We should win the semi-finals on form, and we have a fantastic opportunity if we do this right. But let's not get carried away.
Yeah, right. I couldn't agree with it more myself. Big opportunity, but take each game at a time and respect your opponents. Absolutely. I think that's the general consensus of what we all just said there. Thank you, everyone, who's joined us tonight. I want to dedicate this to my cousin. This one. Thank you. Peace out. Stay safe. Wash your hands.